Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to Car Question. Martin.
James.
And this week we are driving?
Not a regular Ford Bronco Sport, no, a Heritage Edition.
Ooh, look at that. This is a unique styling that's going to bring us into the past when the Ford Bronco was really the off-road machine. But first, a typical question that we get often today. What's the difference between this and an Escape and the Maverick?
That's a great question, Matt, because it's on the same platform, but they don't offer the same thing. Let's talk about the Maverick. It offers an hybrid powertrain. It's a small pickup truck for city drive. When you look at the Bronco Sport, it's a more off-road, more adventure vehicle. When you look at the Escape, it's a more classic compact SUV.
Yes, it is. So for the Bronco also, they played a lot with the memories, what was great about the past. And this is even more obvious when you look at the Heritage package. James, what exactly is an Heritage package?
First of all, you have to look at the paint because there's a two-tone paint. The name of that beautiful paint is the Hot Pepper Red Tinted Clear Coat. And you have Oxford white for the top with the stripes and the little writing on the side.
You've got also those wheels that are really different. You've got two different options for the Heritage version, one of which is the regular one, and you can go for the limited with the more adventurous side of it with 2.0 liter and a more advanced all-wheel drive system.
And do you like the white grille at the front?
Yes, I do. It's looking like what a classic it was back in the day. So it really reminds me of the good old 70, 80 years.
But will it stay as clean as it is right now?
No, it will not. White is really hard to clean and the flies just like to make a nice mess of that grille. The exterior, James, you've got also the wheels. By the way, those are really white. They look like steelies, but they're not.
Those are aluminum wheels. They might look cheap, but they're retro and they won't rust over time.
That's great, but be careful when you're gonna go off-road because those are white. And if you scratch them, oh, it's gonna show. You've got also those Tower Continental Cross-Contract ATR, which have limited capability when it's gonna come to just hitting something different than tarmac. Otherwise, I really dig the exterior. It's looking unique. When you look at it from the side, you can see a small inspiration of Land Rover. And how about in the back? You can open the top glass or simply open completely the trunk, and you're gonna have access to a lot of accessory that's gonna be useful once you're gonna go on an adventure on camping. How about those lights right there in the hatch that I really dig? And it's a like or don't like styling. How about you, James? Like or don't like?
I liked it a lot when I see it first, but the more I see it, the more I'm like, nah, not for me.
Is it gonna stand the wrath of time? Feel free to comment that in the section down there below. Interior.
There's the popular 8-inch multimedia screen with Sync 3. Look at the seats with the 80s style, like the Bronco back in the days, and the Marine. And at the back, tall people like me and you will be cramped because there's not a lot of leg room.
Yeah, but for the headspace though, that unique styling, that little Land Rover style with the roof which is going to change angle is going to be ample space for your head though. And how about storage? It's not one of the biggest, but it's really acceptable. And you've got all those little useful pouch in the seat where you can put a lot of stuff. How about in that center console? Right here, center for your cell, the base one, a QI charger. And how about that center console where you will get easy access to that GOAT mode? What is GOAT, James?
Goes over any type of terrain.
Oh, any type of terrain. Goes over any terrain. That's what I said. Let's talk about engine though. As soon as we open the hood, whoa, what's that?
Yes, it's a 1.5 liter 3-cylinder turbo. It's an EcoBoost. It's missing power. It's only 181 horsepower, 190 pound-feet of torque. I would go with the 2 liter with the limited trim. 4-cylinder, 250 horsepower and 277 pound-feet of torque.
And all those components are mated to an 8-speed transmission, which, by the way, is not that great. You've got different all-wheel drive system depending if you're going to go with a base Heritage version or the limited. The base one got limited GOAT mode, and if you're going to go with the more advanced one, it's going to be able to switch power between the rear left and the rear right wheels. Next thing you know, it's going to simulate some kind of locker, but you're gonna get more goat mode to climb anywhere you want, like rock crawl. And go check in the eye. We already did a video about the Bronco Sport Badland, and by the way, this was an amazing beast off-road.
Compared to this one, it's another world.
Yes, and also if you want to tow, well, 2,000 pound towing capability with the 1.5 and 2,200 pound with the 2.0. Let's talk about performance, road handling. Well, it handles more like a 4x4 rather than a typical crossover or sport utility vehicle. We are still searching for the definition of sport in the Bronco Sport because this is not sport. You get what I mean? As soon as you step on it, the acceleration, not that great. And if you want to pass a vehicle, not that great. But you hear that turbo whoosh, the wastegate, which feels like you're driving a GTR. As soon as you release, what's that?
But the kids won't look at you like you had a GTR.
No, I'm sure they won't. But this Bronco Sport sure turns head though. But when you're driving it, it doesn't feel like what it used to be back in the past. And how about driving on the highway? The wind noise is impressive and it feels vague. Braking power is adequate though. That suspension is really soft. If you're living in pothole city like we are here in Montreal and Quebec, you're going to be fine with that combo of tire and suspension. Otherwise than that, off-road capability, I was kind of deceived. Let's start with the diagonal testing. It did fine. We had just...
For the first one.
Yeah, for the first one. We just had to do a little bit of momentum and there you go. And by the way, whatever mode you're going to choose doesn't change much. When we drove in San James, what happened? Oh my God.
And that's the thing, Matt. Nothing happened.
By the way, in San, we just press and accelerate and put it into San mode, and the traction system is still too restrictive. But I know why, because if you turn off traction control system, the power sent through the front wheel is just too much. It won't be able to send power to the rear. I hear a little bit of clutch pad noise, and that is doom when you go off-road. Next thing you know, we did not have any more all-wheel drive system because of overheat. And how about the roller? What happened? Only two wheels losing traction on one side and it's not moving?
We were really deceived because when you look at the vehicle, you see just only two wheels, like you said, and it looks like this all-wheel drive doesn't send power when it needs to.
And that's a big thing because back in the days, the Bronco was an off-road icon. I know there's the bigger Bronco if you want to go into more adventure, into a bigger mud hole or whatever, but still that Badland used to really blow everything that we sent through him. Once again, check the eye, check that video, then come back here. Next thing you know, simple roller test, it could not pass. I was kind of deceived. Don't put any goat mode because it doesn't serve a purpose. Even all those modes could not get me out of the rollers. The only thing that could was TCS off, and you know what happened? It sends things flying, and next thing you're gonna have no more all-wheel drive power because it's gonna overheat. Let's talk about fuel consumption, James.
9.3 in the city and also 8.4 on the highway. For our US friends, it's 25 miles per gallon around town and 28 miles per gallon on the highway.
How about the price?
For a trim like we have right now, the Heritage package is $51,387 with the taxes, the interest rate and everything.
Okay, our US friend, $685 per month on 60 months term, 4.9% APR financing. So $41,100 plus tax, depending on the state where you are living. So there's a big difference when it comes to Canadian and US price. How about the high and lows? Let's start with the low, the vibration, the transmission. You don't have any manual selector. Next thing you know, you don't know what gear you're using. So it could be pretty much useful to have a manual selector in off-road and really on the regular road though. Also, how about that wind noise? You're gonna roll on the highway. Oh, you can feel it's really impressive. Those tires make a lot of noise. And inside the cabin, well, talking to your passenger will be a challenge if you roll too fast. How about the fuel consumption? How about those seats? The seat base is really short. Even on the side, you don't have lateral support if you're gonna go off-road. And how about a rear leg room? That's not impressive. On the plus side though, you've got a great sound system. The off-road capability are okay. Let me explain. Yes, the all-wheel drive system is kind of strange though, but
Sucks.
but the attack and departure angle, not too bad. And how about that ground clearance too? So if you get enough momentum, you're going to be fine, but otherwise switch for a Bronco Sport Badland or the limited heritage model. You've got also the headspace in the rear. How about all the things that you can add to that Bronco is impressive. You even get a lot of gears. That's really, really great for the fans out there. And you've got that ultra original exterior design that I kind of like. So in conclusion, it's adventure ready. It's for the nostalgic people, but you've got that engine and those off-road thing that, you know, kind of lacks the real heritage of what you had back in the days, where you can throw anything at the Bronco too, and there you go, it was still alive. We want to know what you think about that in the comment section down there below. Thumbs up, subscribe, and we'll see you another time on another video of car question.